You ever get hit with an accusation so out of left field, you think you're still dreaming? That's how it started for me. Coffee barely cooled, neighbors rubbernecking from the brush, and a crew of officials in vests looking like they'd just found a live grenade made out of my cabin. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dumped my mug, and all I could do was stare as they scribbled notes and hollered codes at each other like they were rewriting reality. Right there on my porch, turning my home into a crime scene with me as the main act. You ever been there? If you do, you'll know the whole damn forest leans in to watch you squirm. The thing is, the forest's got a rhythm, and if you're quiet long enough, you'll hear it. Drips off pine needles, squirrels racing bark, creek water folding over stones, layered and soft, until something unnatural busts through. That morning, it was tires chewing gravel, breaking the hush as a truck clawed its way up the trail, exhaust stinking up the clean air. I knew the quiet was about to be stolen. Doors slammed, heavy boots hit dirt, and then 4 figures strutted up, neon vests blazing. You'd think they owned the path. Susan Carter was at the front, voice sharp as a hatchet, waving a piece of paper and hollering my name like it was a curse, claiming my cabin was illegal. The men behind her barked accusations, louder and louder until the forest itself seemed to flinch. Standing there, coffee trembling in my hand, I thought of my dad, how he used to stand on this same porch, patient and steady, scanning for smoke. He wouldn't have flinched. Me? I set the mug down, slow as church bells, went inside and found my father's old shotgun, wood worn from decades, the kind of thing you don't grab lightly. I didn't point it, didn't need to. Just set it on the rail, barrel catching the sun. That was enough. Their shouting tripped, stuttered, and then one guy's eyes got big as a deer in headlights. Susan's face cracked, just for a second, before she forced her anger back in place. And then, they broke. Ran for the truck, boots scrambling, doors slamming so hard the whole cabin shook. Susan hung back, spitting promises over her shoulder that she'd be back with law sharp enough to cut me out for good. The engine noise faded, but her threat hung around, bitter as smoke. That's when I noticed a folder near the steps, thick, dirt-smudged, left behind in their scramble. I picked it up, brushed off the pine needles, and the words Carter Development jumped out in bold. My stomach twisted as I opened it. Blueprints, lines slashing through oak groves, swimming pools where wildflowers should have bloomed, rows of identical villas stamped across the hills like plastic tombstones. And right at the heart, my cabin, red X through it, erased. I felt the weight of it drag me down to the steps. Page after page got worse. Roads, drainage, plans to pour concrete over the creek. My forest, my family's story, reduced to dollar signs. I heard my father's words again. If this post falls, the forest burns. I clutched the blueprints, ink smudging under my thumb, realizing they thought the shotgun had scared them. But it wasn't steel that had saved this place. It was the truth. But as I looked around, fear nibbled at me. They had lawyers, money, a neighborhood easy to sway. All I had was this place, my dad's memory, and a folder full of proof. I remembered the first time Dad led me up here. The forest bigger, trails rougher. He'd say, "This isn't just a cabin, it's the line between life and ashes." Staring at those blueprints, I believed him more than ever. Let this go, and the forest wasn't just lost, it'd be erased. So I stood, folder under my arm, hand still close to the shotgun, and let the silence settle. The fight had only started. The next morning, fog rolled in, thick and heavy, swallowing sound. I tried to steady myself with coffee, but my hands wouldn't stop shaking. That's when another truck appeared. This one green, badges, official looking. Forest rangers, supposedly. 2 guys stepped out, crisp uniforms, eyes cold, clipboards at the ready. One barked my name, already accusing, said my cabin was a hazard, roof brittle, chimney a spark away from disaster. The other claimed I endangered lives, law demanded I leave. By now, neighbors had started gathering, faces uncertain in the mist. Their confidence almost got me, until I remembered Dad's advice. Look close, son. Always look close. The seals on their papers were wrong, tilted, ink too black. I pressed, asked what P7 meant in fire code. Guy blinked, mouth opening and closing, nothing coming out. His partner's jaw twitched. The crowd noticed. I explained. P7 means flammable liquid storage. Any real ranger knows that. The crowd started murmuring. The men's confidence shattered. Their voices cracked as neighbors pressed closer, demanding to see their documents. The lie unraveled fast. The taller guy finally snapped, cussed us all, stuffed the folder away and bolted. The truck disappeared back into the fog. This time it wasn't the shotgun, it was the evidence. But that only made it worse. The HOA was escalating. Yesterday, threats. Today, fake uniforms. Tomorrow, who knows? I wanted to wave the blueprints in front of everyone, but timing was everything. Too soon and Susan would spin it, make me the villain. So I held back, kept my silence, and tried to outlast the storm. The days that followed felt like living inside a siege. Neighbors stopped waving, grocery deliveries went missing, flyers I'd put up vanished. Even my trash got skipped. Then came the letter, plain and signed, community integrity and failure to comply. No name, but Susan's fingerprints all over it. Next, a heavier notice, fake seal again, claiming I'd built an illegal dock extension. I scoured records, nothing matched. It was fiction, written to look like fact. Then, another, improper septic alignment. I pulled up every record, nothing. They were writing a new life for me, one citation at a time. Coffee grew cold on my desk. Sleep shattered in fragments. Sometimes I'd just stare at the deed, tracing boundaries, looking for loopholes I might have missed. It was never about beating me outright. It was about bending my certainty until I snapped. Things got weirder. Packages went missing, county notices arrived pre-opened, paint showed up on my fence. I started hearing phantom footsteps at night, a car door slamming, a phone ringing once. One evening, I walked past the HOA office, light on, a shadow feeding page after page into a scanner. Every sheet felt like another nail in my future. And then, online, my cabin popped up on some HOA website. Photos of my dock, shoreline, all labeled as community assets. My land, paraded as if it never belonged to me. It wasn't about calling the cops now. They were writing a universe on paper, erasing me line by line. The smear campaign cracked something in the neighborhood. Trust splintered. Some folks clapped for Susan's big vision. Parks, pools, jobs, her posters everywhere, Carter Development's name in fine print. And every time, I'd tack up my own proof, only to watch it torn down. The argument boiled over at the notice board. Sheriff called to break it up. Even he looked uneasy. When the fire came, it was no accident. Smoke rising on the ridge, flames chewing up underbrush, and all the while, Susan's flyers waved in people's hands, saying I did it. I ran toward the blaze, maps in hand, shouting for help, but most stood frozen, torn between fear of fire and fear of me. Then old Mr. Jasper stepped forward, said he'd built the cabin with my father, steadied the crowd. I unrolled my father's map, showing the water veins, explaining if the cabin fell, the whole system failed. For the first time, people listened. We formed a line, fought the fire, buckets, shovels, sweat stinging my eyes. And as the flames died, faces turned not with suspicion, but with something like respect. But Susan hadn't shown up for the fire. Her fingerprints were all over it, the timing too perfect. Back in town, Claire handed me an envelope with Susan's signature, bank records, bribes, deals with Carter Development, proof she'd sold us out. When I opened it in front of everyone, the crowd gasped. Bob, her right-hand man, finally broke, confessed he'd lied, forged, spread rumors because she'd promised him protection. One by one, folks spoke up, fines that never existed, job promises broken. The hall turned, voices rose, Susan's empire collapsing. Still, as I looked in her eyes, I saw the war wasn't over. That night, she stormed into my cabin with fake papers, screaming I was the criminal. I set the shotgun on the table, told her it was never about firing a shot, just holding the line for truth. Claire lifted her papers to the lantern. The forgeries fell apart, neighbors gasped, and Susan's scream bounced off walls that no longer protected her. She stumbled into the dark, her reign reduced to ash. After that, the forest breathed again. Folks helped repair what was lost. Axes swung, seeds planted, laughter rose. The cabin became a meeting place, my father's journals resting on the table, proof of a legacy that wouldn't burn. Nights grew quiet, stories circling the fire, the shotgun now a relic, not a threat. But the scars ran deep, on the land and in the town. Some neighbors still glared, some still whispered. Progress, some called it. Betrayal, others knew. Susan's shadow lingered, but the lies had been exposed. And when you see your neighbors swing an axe alongside you, after all the smoke and shouting, you start to believe maybe, just maybe, truth has a shot after all. So you tell me, what would you have done? Kept quiet? Fought back? Where's the line between defending your home and fighting your whole town? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me whose side you'd pick, and let's see where you stand on justice, community, and the price of holding the line.